6:30, let's start. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen informational session for March 9th, 2021, 6:30 p.m. Flip that slide and we'll proceed on to, as people get settled, if anybody would like to speak in the public input period. Give Jackie a minute to scroll through to see if there's any speakers this evening.
We're seeing none in the chat at this point. None in the.
Let's proceed on to the information. All right, Tom, you ready for your announcements?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. First announcement, this is a repeat announcement from the past few meetings. If you're requesting a mosquito spraying property exclusion from your home, visit the Board of Health page on the town's website for links to the forms for submittal directly to the state's Department of Agricultural Resources. Submitted requests will go into effect 14 days from the date of the request and expire on December 31st of the same calendar year. Also, as we're conducting our new annual town report, to save the cost and also waste reduction, we're printing fewer copies of Wenham's 2020 annual town report. The full color report, when it's completed in mid-April, will be available at our website at wenhamma.gov/town report. If you wish to order a printed copy for pickup at Town Hall, please complete the order form on the town website by April 12th. You'll be contacted via email or phone when the reports are ready for pickup. The town administrator's office will be answered to any questions you have at nroebuck@wenhamma.gov or 978-468-5520 extension 2. Trust me, I've seen the previous annual town reports and they are a must read.
So do we want to invite Chief Kavanaugh on to speak to this next slide here with our new graduates?
Chief, I see the deputy there.
Nope, I'm right here.
Okay, there you are, Chief. There you go.
Thank you, everyone, for having us tonight. Recently, 4 of our provisional firefighters graduated from the academy, completing the Massachusetts Firefighter Call Volunteer Firefighter 1-2 program. And those 4 are probationary firefighter Marissa Mead, Allie Boulouise, John Ward, and Matthew Bean. Class 089, as they were called, had 29 graduates from 14 fire departments. The Call Volunteer Firefighter 1-2 program is very unique in that it delivers a standard recruit training curriculum while meeting national standards. The training started on November 2nd, 2020 and ended 4 months later on March 3rd, 2021. The class consists of 240 hours with a blend of online and in-person training. Those 240 hours don't include quizzes, tests, travel time, and study time. It adds up a lot of hours. Many of the in-person classes were held in Stowe at the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy. All classes were held on weeknights, weekends, with all the while recruits holding down their full-time jobs. The recruits learned basic firefighter skills in the classroom and practical. They practice first under non-fire conditions and then during controlled fire conditions. To graduate, students must demonstrate proficiency in life safety, search and rescue, ladder operations, water supply, pump operation, and fire attack. Fire attack operations range from mailbox fires to multiple floor or multiple room structural fires. All live training is held in Stowe at the Massachusetts Fire Academy under the direction of highly qualified instructors. These recruits deserve our respect, not only juggling their work schedules, but for completing this intensive training while in a pandemic. The entire fire department and myself would like to commend these firefighters on a job well done. Congratulations. We look forward to working with them all.
Thank you, Chief. And thank you from the town as well. I know that's been quite a commitment during COVID here to get in those 240 plus hours to get your training done. So welcome to the four of you, and thank you for volunteering.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Chairman, I have some items I just want to bring the update to the public. Thank you. First, just an update on first, the meetings I'll be attending. Tomorrow evening, we have generally a weekly Finance Advisory Committee meeting. On Thursday evening, actually before the Town Government Study Committee, we have scheduled a Board of Health meeting, and then afterwards, we'll be going into the Town Government Study Committee. I actually recommend you watching both the Board of Health and the Town Government Study Committee, particularly the Town Government Study Committee. You learn a lot if you don't know about all other towns and how governments are operated. It's a wonderful 2 hours that goes very quickly. So I highly recommend, if you have Thursday night off, to tune into that meeting. Also, update on some items. Yesterday, we had the signature certified for the citizens petition for our annual town meeting regarding the recall provision on the town meeting warrant. Just want to give a brief, quick synopsis. You'll be hearing more of this coming up before town meeting. What it would be a recall provision for any elected officers in the town. It would begin with 50 certified signatures to initiate the recall, with eventually 10% of registered voters needing to sign the petition to put it on a call for an election regarding the recall, which would be about 290 signatures. Our town is about 2,900 registered voters. We'll go into more specifics as we get closer to town meeting, but I just want to state that it has been certified and will be on the town meeting warrant. Next, for those, whoops, I still got a couple more things there. Sorry, Jackie. Okay, thank you. Or Nikki, whichever one is handling the slides tonight. We're doing a internal review concerning social media and how we can basically expand it and to get more residents interested in utilizing that. So our team will be meeting on that coming up shortly. Next, just an update on the library roof. We are submitting the warranty documents to the roof company this week, and we hope to have a further update on their responsibility coming in the near future. And I have one more item there, is on personnel. Around approximately March 24th, we'll begin our resume review for the position of Conservation and Open Space Coordinator. We've been receiving applications for that, and our internal team will be reviewing that and beginning the process for interviews and finalists on that. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And let me just put in a pitch for tomorrow night's the FinCom meeting. We're really getting down to kind of the crunch time on the budget. So tomorrow night's meeting, we'll be looking at those items that are kind of sitting on the borderline and large capital items to finish off the budget process. So tune in and take a look at that if you have time available. Thank you. All right, so Jackie, I believe Mary Beth is off tonight. Well-deserved break for her. You want to address this slide for a couple minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have a brief update that Mary Beth wrote. I do want to acknowledge, so she has a night off tonight, and we are, coming up on a year of facing this COVID-19 pandemic. And Mary Beth, actually, I was looking at this today. She actually started doing COVID-19 briefing updates with the Department of Public Health back in February of 2020. So this has been already a full 12-month cycle for Mary Beth. And I just want to acknowledge her hard work and diligence and her compassion in working with our residents. So I'm very excited for her to have a night off of contact tracing and public updates tonight. A couple of updates that she asked me to provide to the public. So our current case count, cumulatively, Wenham is at a confirmed total of 236 cases, currently with 16 probable cases and 5 active cases currently, which is good that that's a smaller number of only 5 active cases. Things are going very smoothly and quietly at Gordon College right now. Mary Beth was happy to report. Tomorrow, we will have the last of our second dose COVID-19 vaccine clinics. So the Pingree Park Road will be closed from 8 a.m. to 12 noon tomorrow, as we have our last of our Wenham Board of Health COVID-19 vaccine clinics. We are still working to connect our Wenham residents with some of the regional and mass vaccination sites in the Commonwealth. And if you need something, please do call the Board of Health office. We're happy to help connect you. Mary Beth also asked me to note that there's new CDC guidance for individuals fully vaccinated, which is defined as 2 weeks after the second dose of Moderna or Pfizer, or 2 weeks after the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And we'll be putting updated guidance to that effect on the town website at wenhamma.gov/COVID. And there'll be additional guidance from the CDC. And we expect things to change with the state in the coming weeks as well. They may issue some more guidance based on the CDC's guidance. But that's her update for tonight, unless there's any questions.
All right. Well, thank you. And yes, a big thank you to Mary Beth Ting and all the volunteers that have been working over the past year to mitigate this situation. And for those that have got their second dose or are good on the vaccine, remember that you got a 2-week waiting period until it becomes fully effective. And a nice day today, people are going to start getting outdoors, but still remember to use the PPE and all the other social distancing until we finally get through this as well. Thank you. All right, Chairman's report. Next big item on the calendar is the special town election, Thursday, April 8th. See some campaigning signs out there along the roadways. So it's getting close. It'll be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the town hall. March 18th is the last day to register to vote in this special election. And April 2nd is the last day to request an absentee ballot. On the ballot is one selectman. It runs through about 12 and a half months or so to the annual town election in 2022. And the town clerk's position, the remainder of a 2-year term running through spring of 2023. Your candidates for the candidates on the ballot for a selectman are James Goody, Catherine Harrison, and Mark Lippert. On the town clerk, you have Lisa Craig and Trudy Reed. All right. Then we have a reminder, town meeting on the 1st of May, Saturday, followed by the annual town election that next Thursday, May 6th, which will be again held at the town hall, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. For this one, March 18th is the last day to file the nomination papers. So you still have a chance to draw those papers out and get some of your friends and neighbors to sign and get on the ballot. April 9th is the last day to register to vote at town meeting and annual election. And April 30th is the last day to request an absentee ballot. So we have Board of Assessors, Board of Health, Board of Selectmen, Hamilton Wenham Library Trustees, the Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee, and that paperwork have to be pulled and get done up at the Old Center School at the school district headquarters. One moderator, one planning board, one water commission, and 2 Wenham housing authorities. So I think we may still have one of these jobs that doesn't have any candidate with the papers filed. So I encourage the public to step up and use some of your career or enthusiasm to run for these offices. Thank you. All right, important dates ahead. Tomorrow, the Finance and Advisory Committee on Wednesday, March 10th at 6:30 p.m. So this is the meeting where they're going to start making the hard decisions as to what gets into the budget and what doesn't. And then the warrant for the annual town meeting closes on Tuesday, March 23rd. All right. All right, tonight we have Sean Timmons coming to us from the Recreation Department to continue our sequence of briefings and presentations on all the great work that our department's employees are doing even during this pandemic time. And certainly Sean comes to us one of those unique positions running a regional two-town operation. So it has to coordinate with even more employees and elected officials. But Sean, are you ready here?
Yeah, ready to go. No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And, I'll try to be fairly brief here through my update. So just, I know the first slide here kind of highlights the spring programming, but just want to, kind of highlight what we've been doing, since we were able to get back into our programming. So like, many other departments, we were, essentially shut down last March. And that continued basically through the beginning of the summer. So starting in July, we were able to provide in-person programming, and we've continued that in-person programming through the fall, through the winter, and then now again we'll be coming up with the spring. So knock on wood, we've been lucky. We've haven't had any issues COVID related with any of our programming. Our programs have been well attended. I think everyone who's attended our programs or worked at our programs has done an outstanding job following kind of the guidelines that we have in place to make sure that they're enjoying themselves, but they're enjoying themselves safely. And really happy with our programming specifically, since a lot of the children are going to school in cohorts and not going full time, that I think the physical interaction and the physical activity is great, but really the social interaction that we've seen with the kids has been really special. And for them being able to be back with their friends and enjoying the things that they do has been really great. So as the slide says, we just started registration for our spring programming on March 1st. This spring, we have over 45 programs that we're offering. And what we've done, and we did this in the fall, in the summer as well, is we try to keep the programs outside as much as we can. So we do that through tent rentals, outdoor classrooms, things of that nature for our enrichment programming. So for example, if we run a Lego program, we want to make sure that Lego program, the kids are outside, fresh air, as opposed to being in the, in the gym. So we do kind of try to get as many programs outside as we can. So just to date, as of, I think this morning, we had over 200 independent registrations already for our spring programming. 4 of our spring programs already have wait lists that we're trying to add additional programs to it. So you can really tell that, folks community members are kind of itching to get going, itching to be involved in different programming. So, we couldn't be happier with the response that we've gotten in the last week or so. And all those programs are scheduled to start first week of May. So hopefully, we were able to actually, tomorrow we have an archery program that we're moving outside because the weather's so nice. So we're hopeful that, even in March and April here, that we'll be able to get the majority of the programs from our winter session back outside. So, obviously with our spring programming, that's great. But really right now we are kind of deep into our summer planning. So we will be running the Patton Park summer program this year. We didn't run last year. We actually expect to release all of our information on that this week. We're shooting for Thursday. So, for everyone to be on the lookout for that, and we will get that out through, our normal channels. And our registration for that Patton Park summer program, which is essentially our camp, or is our camp, would start in April. Right now, we're basing all of our group sizes, our activities, how we have to operate on the state guidelines that were released last summer for camps. So the state has not released any new or updated guidelines on camps for this particular summer. We expect that they will. But, from our standpoint, we figured it would be safer to base it on last year's summer guidelines and then adjust for this summer. So we expect that most or some of the guidelines will be relaxed, but it's easier to go from, stricter and relaxing them than it is from, relaxed and then pulling back. So right now, the best that we can do is just work with the information that we have, and that's what we're doing. I think one thing that's important to note is the pool will be open. We will be getting the pool open as well. And we were able to work with our health folks to make sure that our camp gets swim time in the pool. So that was one of the guidelines last year that were a little wishy-washy on public pools, but we think we have a good program in place, our operation in place to be able to allow the pool to be open for both our campers as well as the general public. Obviously, it won't be the same time. And that will be based upon our schedule, but we're happy with the fact that our campers will be able to swim this summer. And speaking of the pool, so no information has been released on public swimming pools since since last summer, or based on the last summer for outdoor swimming pools. We're probably not going to announce any information about the pool until we get those guidelines. Really the whole, and you can tell by the bullet point, the operations of the pool and how we would operate as a department is really, really dependent upon the occupancy level that we can have at the pool. So last summer, we were only allowed, the state said that we could only allow 40% occupancy level, or 40% capacity, I should say, which for our pool would have been 40 people. So if we can only let 40 people into the pool area at one time, that greatly impacts, or that's going to impact how we operate. So we're hopeful that that number won't be 40. It will be higher than 40 for this summer, but we don't want to come out with a schedule, come out with how we're going to operate until we get those numbers. So, for folks that are interested in the pool, and, I think we've put this on our Facebook page as well, more to come, but really, I think for us, that's going to be something that comes down later in the line as we get closer to the summer. And as always, we have tons of employment opportunities. We normally hire. We have about 70 seasonal employees that we hire, 35 for the pool, 35 for our camp program. It's great always to know that, the majority of those workers are from Hamilton and Wenham. So, really kind of providing jobs for the students and the college students here, in the community. So all those job postings are on our website. We actually just released or just posted the jobs for counselors today. So we'll be going through that process, over the next month or so, and really excited to kind of get back going this summer, with our operations. And, we hope and we keep our fingers crossed that it's going to be, as close to, what I guess we would call normal, as it can be. We know there are going to be some changes and some modifications that we have to make and have already made. But we're really looking forward to getting everyone back this summer, because it was missed. It was my favorite time of the year is the summer camp and the pool. And I think last year, it really it hurt us not to be able to see everyone kind of at the park. So we're excited for this summer, and just more information to come. And as always, if anyone has any questions, I'm a phone call away, an email away, and be happy to talk to any community members about any of our programming. I think that pretty much, wraps it up. I don't know if anyone has any questions for me. Be happy to answer anything.
Well, Sean, can you speak, how large a camp are you planning on this year? How many participants can you plan to handle?
Yeah, so it really depends upon group sizing. And right now, we are in the range of 15 per group for our younger groups and 20 for our older kids. We have about 7 or 8 groups. So we envision it being probably somewhere between 100 to 120 kids total. In a normal summer, we're closer to 180. So there is a decrease, based upon the group sizes. But again, that's all subject to change. If group sizes aren't limited, then, maybe we can, within reason, be able to, add more folks to our groups, or add more participants to our group. So right now we're guessing 110, 115 might be the most, but hopeful that we'll be able to welcome more.
That's good. The more the better to get outside for a change. Also, we have the hired staff for the camp, but do you want to talk about your need for coaches, volunteers and stuff the rest of the year?
Yeah, so we work closely with all the youth sport organizations in town, Little League, youth basketball, our lacrosse programs, youth soccer. So I know they're always on the lookout for good volunteers and good folks to help them out. I will say that our youth sports have been unbelievable. It started right in the summer, and we didn't miss a beat. So I will tell you that the children in this town were not short of activities, or have not been short of activities, over the past 8 to 9 months, since the summer started. So youth basketball is just finishing up. They did an unbelievable job. They had 300, and I believe it was 310 kids playing youth basketball this season, which is just unbelievable. And all those games were run right out of the rec center. So we worked closely with them, and they did just an unbelievable job. So, really, community members should really feel lucky to live in a community like Hamilton and Wenham, because they really, the volunteers just do an unbelievable job.
Well, thank you to the volunteers. And one last question, any new activities or sports you're looking at adding next year?
So what we really were looking to, believe it or not, we were really concentrating pre-COVID on our special events. So that kind of took a hard knock when we couldn't have any groups. So I think that is another thing that we're going to look at, this summer. I know, we're talking about, doing maybe a movie series or things outdoors. So I think we really want to kind of liven up our special events and create more special events. So I think that's kind of our focus, and with any department, one of our focuses has always been kind of the tweens. It's really tough to program for that specific age group, 13 to 15. So we've done things, virtually with esports and different things to try to get some interest with that. So, those I think would be our two main focuses, moving forward here.
Sounds good. And one last item, where's the best place or places for people to get the information?
Yeah, so our website is www.hwrecreation.com. So we have our own separate website outside of the town websites, where we do our registration, our announcements. You can always, look us up on Facebook, and really sometimes the best place to get information is to just give us a quick call.
Sounds good. Thank you for the presentation and all the work, and looking forward to a great, fun summer. Good weather, hopefully.
Yeah, let's hope so. Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Tom, anything else from you?
No, and I just want to thank Sean for his wonderful report. Just remembering to all the public, a successful recreation department is what makes a livable community. So what Sean's doing for everyone from ages 6 to 60 is a wonderful thing. And please take part if you can in the recreation department. It's something that makes a community, so to speak.
Sounds great. Nikki or Jackie, anything to add? All right. Well, thank you, Catherine, for recording the minutes as always. And next week, we'll see you at the same time. But in the meantime, if you haven't registered to vote, get that done, hopefully. And also tune into those other meetings this week. We have important meetings running up to the budget season. Thank you very much. And I think we'll close it out at this point.